Looking for the perfect gift for the perfect guy this Valentine's Day? Perfect gift. Well, then the perfect gene knows just what you need to gift your man. They are mind readers. From jeans or shorts that are tailored to not crush your man's junk. Ow, that hurts. To shirts that use the same stretch and quality as their jeans to make your man look good this Valentine's Day. Ill-fitting clothes make you look ugly and unworthy of love. Plus, the best Valentine's Day is using promo code BIDDLE20 at theperfectgene.nyc for 20% off your first order. That's right, BIDDLE20 gets you 20% off all their items. Inclusive deals are the best. So this Valentine's Day, fuck those boring khakis and get your man the perfect gift from the perfect gene. And don't forget to use code BIDDLE20 for 20% off your order. Khakis are the worst.
It's a new year, and that means we're trying to get our diets, finances, and goals in line. Know what else needs aligning in the new year? Your spine. Bueno, thanks to our friends at Snapcrack, you could definitely achieve that goal in the new year. Snapcrack offers hassle-free chiropractic adjustments for just $29 a visit. No hidden fees, no appointments needed. Just walk in and experience their 3-step process of the crack, the drop, and the click. They even offer monthly $49 memberships that include adjustments and a variety of Snap Boost vitamin therapy injections, which, como están las cosas hoy en día, we can all get a little bit more vitamins, right? Bueno, así que visit to snapcrack.com today and find the location nearest you, which now includes a location in Hialeah. So you know how that's going to be, la ciudad que progresa. And you know how much I love Hialeah. Then just stop by. You'll be in and out in no time. After all, when you feel better, you do better. Hey everyone, this is DJ.
And this is Ish.
And this is Season 5 of Pero Let Me Tell You.
Is this thing on?
That's actually, I think, her hottest video.
I know you always say that. You do always say that.
I Love Rock and Roll
Yeah.
by Britney.
Yeah.
That is her hottest, like, the hotness in that video is just...
There was almost nowhere to go but down.
Yeah, it's like, what do you do? Like, what do you do? Like, what do you do? Well. Here we are, everyone.
What you do is you start Season 5.
Season 5. Welcome,
crazy.
everybody. Welcome. We're back.
That is insane.
Come on, welcome back, Cotter. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yes.
Welcome back. A lot of people are not going to know what Welcome Back Cotter is.
No.
Anyway, it's where John Travolta got his start, people.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody, to our first episode of
Season 5.
Season 5, 2022. Here we are.
Does that feel as weird to say as it was to hear Season 5?
I
Like
don't
that
know
we've been
what's
doing
weirder.
this this is our beginning of our 5th year.
I don't know what's weirder, Season 5 or 2022. I mean, I still think I'm in like
2019?
I still think I'm like in 1999. You know, living the vida loca, still the new jam.
Well, you know what? It might be in some alternate universe. We don't
Yeah. Woke up in New York City.
know.
I've come to terms with that song again.
In what sense?
When that song came out, I liked it like everybody else, and then I got really sick of it. And I
Like everybody
fucking
else?
hated it, and I'm like, this song is shit. Like, this is like one of his, especially when you know Ricky Martin's like catalog. I'm like, this song is crap. But now I'm kind of like, oh, you know, it's vintage. It is.
Desmond Child, please disregard. We'd love to have you on the show.
It'll be well, but I don't mean vintage in a bad way.
No, I meant when you said it's shit.
Well,
that you thought it was shit.
Well, no, because look, I think that like living the vida loca, I feel the same way about Ricky Martin's English career as I do Shakira's.
Yeah.
I think his best work is in Spanish.
in Spanish, yeah.
That's not to mean that there's not English songs of his that aren't good, but I think his best work is in Spanish. And you know,
It's more his it's a weird thing to say, but like it's like his personality shines through more in Spanish. Like with Shakira, to your point. Like Shakira's English career
in
is
Spanish
is standard pop in English.
right. In Spanish, she's one of my favorite singers of all
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
In English, I could pass it. Like, except the Hips Don't Lie. Hips Don't Lie is a great song.
She's a standard pop
right,
act
but
in
Hips Don't
English.
Lie. Why is Hips Don't Lie so good? Other than Wyclef. That's,
yeah.
Was that Jennifer Rivera?
Jennifer
Yeah,
Rivera.
that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
that song is so good.
That's
so. Yeah. Anyway, why are we talking about this? It's our season 5 premiere.
Season 5 premiere. And look, listeners, I gotta tell you, thank you guys again for allowing us to be in season 5, because we wouldn't have gotten here if y'all weren't listening. But I know we say this every year, but this year is going to be epic. Like, we're not gonna say anything, but there's literally some stuff coming. Like,
We're taking a next level, bro.
we've got some insane guests this year.
We do.
We do. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
all I'm
Don't
gonna
say
say.
anything. We've got insane guests coming this year. Like, we've already banked. Like, by the time you hear this, we'll have banked already like 5 guests.
Yes. And one of them, I'm really going to have to pull it together.
Yes.
It's not Mariah Carey yet.
No. It might be Chottle.
But one of them, I'm really going to have to pull it together because it's like the dream guest I've always wanted on the show. And that's all I'll say about that. But anyway, season 5, here we are. And as Ish said, if you're listening to this, you have been with us for, going on our 5th year. So thank you. A lot of you sent us messages while we were gone. Well, not gone, but we need a break.
Yeah.
We need a break, and you guys need a break too. Like,
So you can love us more when we come back.
and we really, really appreciate it. So I actually wanted to start off with something really funny that I thought was hilarious.
Okay, bring it.
But again, it goes to show, because like when we record this, we know we're fortunate enough that we have an audience, and we have very loyal and awesome people that listen to us. Our Pero Primos, and engage with us on social media and all that. But sometimes when you put things out there in the atmosphere, you don't really know who's listening, especially in terms of our show. There's so much that we talk about.
You don't know what's really going to hit and resonate.
And we're weekly. So there's a lot we talk about, right?
And we talk a lot.
So I mean, I can't imagine in over 186 episodes, we must have talked about thousands of different things, right?
Right.
And you never know what people are going to remember, right?
True.
So one of my favorite moments in this break that we had was when we posted kind of like one of those little Instagram like
a poll. Yeah.
Where people were like, oh, when we asked people, what is your favorite episode, like what topic did you enjoy the most, what was your favorite episode, because we were giving out some t-shirts, and I just thought it was really funny that there was like an overwhelming amount of people that were very concerned about the Publix cake for my birthday.
That hit a nerve. Like that, people. I mean, we knew they were concerned about it because when it was happening, we were getting DMs about it. No, it has resonated.
Yeah.
Like this is one of our things.
So, listeners, if you're that concerned about my Publix cake, imagine how I feel.
Yeah, and are you all waiting for October to see what happens?
But at this
year?
point in time, like right now, like the error is like almost expected. Now, watch it this year. My parents nail like my Publix cake. Like
I don't think so.
No?
I think depending on what you give them, they may get close, but I don't think they're going to hit it 100%. I'm going to give them a 70% average.
Okay, but as I said, and when we did the whole like segment about it, when you said what I give them, I gave them exactly what I wanted. I gave them I gave them a stock picture from Publix.com, right? This wasn't a Google picture. This was from Publix.com.
This is in their catalog.
What I wanted, which is in Publix, they have, the book that you can pick the cakes.
Yeah.
It's that picture. The picture I send them is the one in the book.
Okay.
Right. I told them what I wanted. I wanted the size of the cake, the flavor, and everything. As I told my dad, don't talk. Just give them the phone. Like, I sent it on WhatsApp. Give them the phone. That's all.
But in all fairness,
So listeners, I actually love that this like resonated, as you said, so much with people.
but to keep on the
It's like we're a big family.
to keep on the cake tip though, you think you may have found the person who took your order, who took your parents' order.
Right. So
with Tristan's birthday
So
party cake.
this last week we had a big party for Tristan a whole month after his real birthday, because of the holidays
And
because
Omicron
of
and-
COVID
yeah.
and Omicron, and it's like, okay, well maybe when you're 10 we could celebrate your 8th birthday. And I, being a Publix cake expert,
Yes, a connoisseur.
I went to Publix to order the cake, the one by my house, and I told the guy exactly what I wanted. and he kind of was like, "Can you fill out the form yourself?" Like he really was like not, and I think maybe you're the one who helped my parents.
Yeah.
Like,
So we may have there's clues.
right.
There's clues now.
We need to call Carmen Sandiego.
Yes, yes. Gina Rodriguez, get on the case, or Rita Moreno. They
The
both voiced.
Warrens.
They both voiced Carmen.
Yeah, because he was totally like, what? Because for Tristan's cake, if you noticed the Among Us cake,
yeah.
that was Star Wars cake.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You showed me. Yeah.
Right. And I told them, don't put the Darth Vader head on it because
Yeah. Or the lightsabers on the bottom.
Right, which they did.
They did.
And the thing is said, do not put the lightsaber. Because I got the Star Wars cake because it looks like spacey.
Right.
So
You can adjust it.
It was the Among Us theme. And
Right.
if you remember, on the day of his actual birthday on Christmas,
You basically were asking for the same thing.
I got the same cake.
Right.
It's just that was a quarter sheet, which now this is a funny story for you. A quarter sheet, and this was a half sheet. But it was the same cake, and they got it wrong. The guy got it wrong, so I'm like, maybe you're the one who helped my parents. But again, I hope that next year for my birthday, my parents get me like it's a girl cake.
Yeah.
Like,
And we learned that I don't know the difference between a half sheet and a quarter sheet.
so really funny story. A couple of weeks ago, it was Jose's birthday, and Ishmael ordered a cake for him with Bjork punching the reporter. Fun times, and it was just a few of us, and he orders this enormous cake, which I mean, extra cake is never a problem.
It's not a bad thing. Yes.
It's never a problem. Yeah. But so I was the one who mentioned to you. I'm like, did you get confused between a quarter sheet and a half a sheet?
I did.
But you know, more cake the better.
Listen, we were eating cake for like 2 weeks.
And it was a value.
It was a value.
$13 at BJ's.
$13 for that big ass cake.
And we have just spent the first 10 minutes of the show talking about cake. I mean,
What better way to start the show than cake?
especially Publix cake. So
Yes, yes.
actually, now that we're speaking about Publix, I want to segue into
Okay.
something I actually wanted to talk about.
Ooh, I just want to thank Rompalante for the rum that they sent us because I'm sipping on it right now. So
Oh
thank
yeah,
you.
thank you. So in 186 episodes, I think we've talked about our love of Publix cake and
I mean, it's a fair assumption. Yes,
all things
yes,
green
yes,
Publix.
yes. Chicken tenders, yeah.
And I not that I go to Publix Instagram page often because I don't, but the other day I was there and I actually did a screenshot so I could remember to talk about it.
Okay.
Have you ever been on Publix Instagram?
I want to say I probably have, but I don't think I've been enough to remember.
Okay, so Publix Instagram is the reason why just being online and just comments
Further
are,
proof that
are just further
social
proof
media is evil.
That social media is evil. So there's this whole thing against hating Publix, right?
because of their donations and
So
things like that,
it's a couple
right?
of things. The heiress of the Publix,
So she's not like
she's not
Active.
she's not on the board of directors.
Okay, right.
She does not take. She is not part of Publix.
she's not making a sub
Incorporated,
somewhere. or-
right? No,
right,
she
okay.
has nothing to do.
She's
with
just
the company.
the heiress.
She's just the heiress,
Okay.
right? She has nothing to do with the company. I think she owns stock because
Well, but
she's
anybody
the
can.
heiress,
I mean-
but she's not on the board of the directors.
Okay.
She's not in the leadership. She has nothing to do with the day-to-day
Day-to-day, okay.
running of Publix.
Okay.
And she, I mean, it's not even that she's a Trumper, but I think she like gave money for the insurrection on January 6th. Like one of
Oh
those things.
no, okay.
One of
But
those
whatever.
things.
Listen, it's your money.
So
You do what you
people
want.
are like outraged at Publix, like boycott Publix.
Mind you, public has nothing to do with
Right.
anything. Right.
If she was like on the board of directors and she
Maybe.
ran, okay, I gotta understand.
Right.
But she's not. And also Publix has donated allegedly money or given contributions to like Ron DeSantis and like different, organizations
Right,
that
right.
a lot of people are not very happy with, which is a fair criticism. It's a fair criticism.
but not of Publix
right?
as a corporation.
But they
because-
have a right to do that,
Right,
you
right,
know.
right, right.
And it's a fair criticism, but the comments on the Publix Instagram page, it's like outrageous. It's like one after another. You're
the devil.
Yes,
Like,
you're
yeah.
the devil, and this and that, and and I'm like, wow, like even like a benign super like
Right.
no, go
Our apples are fresh.
go to their
you know,
4th of
like-
July posts.
Oh no.
Because on the 4th of July, they were like, oh, nothing says American more than like,
Apple pie
apple
or-
pie or
right,
whatever.
right.
No, go to those. And when I read that, when I was looking through those comments, I'm like, first of all, even if you have grievances against the company, in the comment section of their celebratory cake,
Right.
or of their, fresh squeezed lemonade post, that's probably not the best place to like air your grievances against the company,
maybe not the most.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So I thought it was so tragic but funny at the same time that it's like we can't even do that. Like a supermarket,
This is why we can't have nice things. I keep telling you this, and you keep thinking I'm exaggerating.
And then what sort of I find annoying about that is that, I mean, you have some extremes with like Hobby Lobby and stuff like that, and even Chick-fil-A to a certain extent. But it's like, of other corporations, do you expect corporations to have this completely ethical and like well-rounded?
Listen, they're a business. They're in it for themselves. They're in it to make money.
All of them are.
They're a business.
So do you
not
expect
a charity.
this like humanitarian? I mean, I know that there's some corporations that go out of their way of doing that.
I mean, yes,
but do you expect most corporations to like be a good neighbor? No. They're gonna do it in the best self-interest.
They do
to
it
them.
if they can, and once they've made enough money to be able to do it.
See, we can't go anywhere.
It's true.
I'm sure that Whole Foods has some skeletons in its closet.
I'm sure it's like that whole dancing skeleton thing from that Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies.
So
cartoon.
anyway, bueno, we can start our new season, and I hate to be Debbie Downer. We have to talk about a couple of people we've lost.
Oh yeah, January 2022 has been a bitch.
So obviously, it started off with Betty White, which
whatever, she made it to 100. I don't care. Let's all listen. If there are people out there who can agree that the election was rigged, we can all agree that Betty White made it to 100.
I think so.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that comparison.
I mean, if QAnon is a thing, you know what? We can just all agree Betty White made it to 100. It was like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was like 13, 14 days.
Yeah.
She made it to 100.
She made it to 100.
Yeah.
Done.
Well, technically, she was living her 100th year.
There you go. Yes, Betty White made it to 100. Done.
Yeah. She was living her 100th year. In 14 days, she would have lived her 101st year.
That's true.
Right?
Yes.
So obviously that, it's not that we were expecting it, but
she was 99.
She was 99.
I mean,
She was 100.
Well, she was 100. That's right. We just established. Sorry.
So, she was Korean. She would have been 100.
Oh, that's true.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, so Betty White lived to be 100 because she was Korean.
Right.
We're changing.
When you're born, I don't know if it's in both Koreas, but certainly in South Korea, you're born 1, which makes sense to me.
Right. Well, in North Korea, you're probably born however much younger you need to be or older than Kim Jong-il.
Right. So, I mean, Betty White was sad because of everything that she represented. And, and she just
radiated warmth and goodness.
And everybody loved her.
Yeah. I keep seeing those things that says, live your life in such a way that when you die at 99, people say you weren't around long enough.
Right. Right. I think Ryan Reynolds said something
to that effect.
Along to those lines, yeah. The one that gutted me that I cried was Bob Saget.
Yeah.
I felt when Bob Saget...
Your eyes are glassing over right now.
I felt when Bob Saget died, I felt it was like a family member. I mean, I know obviously that in 186 episodes, we've talked about, my...
the place that Full House has in your heart.
Yes, the place that Full House has in its heart. And we went to a taping of Fuller House. We sat in the sofa. We went on the set. But that... not only did it feel like a personal loss... When I found out that he passed, the first thing I do is I looked at all the Instagrams of Candace Cameron, Jodie Sweetin, John Stamos, because that cast, as we know, they really are family.
They're family. They're family.
They're family. And like, I felt bad for them. Like, one does when somebody loses a family member.
El pésame.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I wanted to give my condolence. I did. I put it on their social media. And that one really... so young. Yeah. I mean, he died in his sleep, so he didn't suffer. But I mean, so young and like such a loss.
65.
65. And now, one of the things I loved so much about the Full House cast, and now then in Fuller House, was that they were all together. And now, if they ever do something again, it's gonna be incomplete because one of them is missing.
It's automatically just going to be sad because if they do it again. The way that show works, they will have to make it that Danny passed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even if they do it in 10 more years where he would have been in his 70s, right? Like, they would have to
It has to be addressed.
It has to be addressed. Because, again, it's not like the Olsen twins who just didn't show up and we knew they weren't going to show up and whatever, move on, you know? Like everyone else is going to be there except for him.
And even the Olsen twins, that they were at his funeral, they gave a statement.
Yeah.
They gave that joint, they gave a joint family statement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
Even Lori Loughlin.
Well, I expected Lori Loughlin.
Well, but you know, she's been lying low. I'm just saying like even, you know.
No, but for something like that, and I don't think that is people, as much as you know, she's not in people's good graces right now.
We literally just had a conversation about people complaining about apple pie on Publix.
Right,
so
but Lori Loughlin giving a statement about the passing of somebody that everybody knows she was really close to, I don't think that people.
I put nothing.
Well, that's true.
I put nothing.
That's true.
Past
Wait, and
anyone.
who else did we lose this week? We lost
Meatloaf, Louis Anderson,
Sidney Poitier.
Sidney Poitier.
Oh man, and it's only January. Like
that's what I'm
saying. This is gonna be a 2016 all over again.
Yes, I'm saying, and I think there's some
Please
other.
God, protect Mariah.
I think there's some other celebrities
protect Madonna. Protect the weekend.
Who I can't think of right now, but I feel like there was some other celebrity deaths passings. But yeah, it's like when January has been like
protect Bono, protect you too, protect us.
I'm trying to think now, like that. Now that Betty White has gone, I mean, I guess the oldest Hollywood person. I mean, not that I think he seems like a nice person. Is Norman Lear.
No,
Norman Lear's 100.
Angela Lansbury.
Okay, she kind of fills that Betty White, gives you a nice warm feeling.
Yeah. Look, she's not
as active.
She's not as active, and she also doesn't have the catalog that Betty White had.
Yeah, it's a very different.
The thing with Betty White is that.
But see, Betty White was. Oh yeah, if it wasn't for COVID, Betty White was going to star in a TV movie as Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years ago.
And Betty White did so much on television, and she had two very, very iconic shows in two very different times with two very different audiences. Yeah. And, the Mary Tyler Moore Show and then the Golden Girls. So that's why she was so loved. And the Golden Girls has lived on. And
Mary Tyler Moore Show now, the other day I was watching it, it just makes me sad.
They're all gone.
The only one that's left is Gavin McLeod.
Who's that?
The bald guy.
The one from
Love Boat.
He died.
He did?
Yeah, he died last year. Last year, he died. Aaron,
Ed Asner,
and Betty White. They all died in the same year.
Oh, I didn't know Gavin McLeod had passed.
They're all gone.
They're all gone.
And I forgot her name. That she was the youngest. That she was on Everybody Loves Raymond.
Georgia Engel.
She died too.
Yeah, she died like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. They're all gone.
Yeah, I think she died the same year as Valerie Harper.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, let's move on to something a little happier.
Okay.
I mean, it's
welcome back, everybody. How's 2022 going? Well, the Olympics are next week. I feel the Olympics were just here.
That is true.
I mean, for somebody who's an Olympophile,
that's a thing. I accept it.
I had my issues about the Olympics being in Beijing again, but I had my issues about the Olympics being in Beijing in 2008.
Well, at least you're consistent.
When everybody in 2008 was saying, oh my God, these are the most beautiful Olympics ever. Look at everything they built. Look at the opening ceremony that they spent like $60 million on. I'm like, well, yeah, but they also have like human rights violations. They
just,
also,
little things.
There's no freedom of speech there, so on and so forth.
So, well, I saw something the other day. This has nothing to do with the Olympics, but
okay.
I saw something the other day that reminded me of you, though.
Un caldero again?
No, not un caldero. I actually saw something the other day that it was a headline that is, I'm like, in a different world, this is you and me.
Yeah.
There are people now who are in platonic life partnerships.
Oh. All right. Well, is this some type of zillennial?
It's essentially like people who have been friends like forever.
Mira, that's bullshit because I can't claim you on my taxes.
Well, that's the thing. These are people.
Wait, can I?
Well, so basically what it is like they're basically like in a relationship, but it's not a romantic relationship, but they're each other's emotional support and they're there for each other and all that.
I told you some years ago, I was like, can we get married just so I could use your health insurance?
The insurance, yeah.
Because you have really good health insurance.
Well, you have really good insurance now.
Now I do, but at the time I didn't.
No,
so I'm like, just for your health insurance.
I would have married you for the insurance. And listen, you know what? The beauty of that would have been that we've known each other so long that it's like, prove that it's a fake marriage.
Yeah, I know.
Dale.
Yeah.
Quiz me.
We would have been Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds in The Proposal. Where are you going to Alaska?
Be like, you know what? Quiz me.
So
Quiz
there's
me on it.
platonic
life partnerships.
Well, you know what actually that reminds me of?
What?
That reminds me of, I don't know why I'm quoting this show. I'm so sorry to the fans out there. To Sex and the City.
I knew you were going with that. See, that's why we would pass this test.
When they were saying,
they're
we'll
your
be each other's soulmates. I'm like,
Yeah. But it's not wrong.
I guess.
I mean, a lot of times people look to like romantic partners for a soulmate. And while that is the ideal, I don't think one person can be all things.
Oh, no, I agree. But I've always said, I mean, obviously you and I are very close, but I've always said that's the reason why I've never been big on the word best friend, because I think that you surround yourself, or at least me or us, with a small circle of people that
For eternity.
that is your ride or dies. No
This is
questions
true.
asked. I mean, that certainly has been the dynamic of
group.
with our group and
Yes,
our friendships.
for sure.
Like, no questions asked. What do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need? Okay. Here
Yeah,
we go.
it's like, I can't do it on Tuesday, but if you can go Wednesday, I'm there.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Just tell me, where are we hiding the body? Like,
Yeah. And I've seen enough Law and Order that I think we could get away with it.
you know.
Like, I feel like I would know what not to do.
So is this a thing now, like millennials buying homes together?
Listen, if that's
I
the only
just
way they
wanna
can
tell-
afford it.
I just want to tell everybody out there about millennials buying homes together, that they're like, oh my God, look at them. They're buying homes together. My parents and my aunt and my uncle are baby boomers, and they bought their home. They bought their home together. That is why it's the Borges compound.
That's true.
So my parents and my aunt and uncle were onto something like 40 years before. Well, that's what they did when they came from Cuba. They couldn't afford. You know, my parents and my aunt and my uncle wanted to buy a house. That was like their goal. Buy a house immediately. Like,
Yeah. Get established.
and that's why my parents, a year and a half after being in the United States, bought a house.
Wow, is that quick?
A year and a half.
Oh shit.
We've lived in that house since 1981.
No, I knew you had always I knew that had always been your house. I just
Yeah.
didn't know that
Yeah.
it was that quick.
It was a year and a half that they were here. And you know, because they bought it together. So, you know.
Wow. The Borges compound. There's a lot less FBI agents there than most compounds.
My parents were onto something.
They were. Listen, your parents are trendsetters. You know what? Your mother is probably a trendsetter, and we just don't know it. Maybe your mother has like some fake like TikTok, and she's all the rage. Oye, mi gente, Ish here. Now, you know I can't stop talking about UFit and the progress I've made on my goals thanks to my personal trainer. Pero have you heard about the new UFit? Across 80 locations, they've got new state-of-the-art equipment, deadlift platforms, and of course, group classes, which you know is what I'm most excited about. Their new HIT Plus group classes. Part of UFit's Premium Plus memberships, these high-impact intensity training sessions combine strength training and cardio. O sea, the best of both worlds. So you're sweating, you're toning, you're building muscle. I mean, de todo. And each class has 10 people or less and is led by a certified personal trainer. Así que no te preocupe, there's a HIT Plus class for every intensity level, so you can find one perfect for you and your goals. Even with all the new, you know what hasn't changed? UFit is still affordable with gym memberships starting at $10 a month. So visit ufit.com and get started today with your fitness goals. But please note, amenities do vary by location. At UFit, you come first.
Oh my God, my parents now are on to Spanish vocabulary. Because of Pasapalabra.
Oh, that's right.
Pero Pasapalabra, have you finally seen it?
I have not.
Okay, listener. So Pasapalabra is this game show in Spain. And they air it on Antena 3, so you could watch it here in the US. And it's not like Jeopardy. Actually, it's not like Jeopardy at all. But it's like the equivalent of Jeopardy in the sense that like the whole country watches.
But isn't it more Wheel of Fortune-ish?
No.
Because of you have to guess the word?
Well, what happens is, so you have the alphabet,
Okay.
right? And A, B, C, D. Yeah. So they'll ask you a question for each letter, and the answer starts with that letter, right? But you have to be quick, like quick. And I have to tell you that it's really, like, I watch it and I'm like at the edge of my seat. And then the thing was that one of the reasons it became so famous, or at least like, the show has been around for decades. Okay. But the reason why this past year it was like so popular is because it sort of had a Ken Jennings situation
Got
where
it.
there was a player that was on for like a year. Like
Coño.
nobody could beat him. Nobody could beat him, Pablo. And then for a while there, it was Pablo y Nacho. Nachino y Nacho.
Okay, I was gonna say, is that the new reggaeton group?
Pablo y Nacho.
Pablo y Nacho.
Yeah, and whatever. Oh shit, you know what song I love?
¿Cuál?
Pepa,
You were telling me that the other day. That song, that song is like everywhere.
The song is so good.
It is good, but that song is everywhere.
You know what I think is so funny about it? Have you heard it on the radio?
No, because I don't listen to the radio.
Okay, so the song says, Pepa, nana pa la se, no, dale agua pa la se, no. Dale pa la seca, pa coger pastilla en la discoteca. That's why he says empastillao.
Well,
So obviously he's talking about pills.
Yeah, Pepa.
About-
Pepa is pills and all
Right.
that. Yeah, drugs. Yeah.
Drugs. But what I think it's interesting is that he says that in Spanish, and on Y100 here in Miami, they blank out
Patillero.
patillero, which I'm like, really? We're doing that? We're bleeping
That's
out
interesting.
and it's not a bad word.
That's true.
It's just a reference to drugs.
Well, but maybe it's promoting drugs and
Well, no, it is.
No. From the iHeart, perspective or whatever,
Yeah, that's another thing. I explained that song to my mom the other day, and she's like, "Pero eso es de droga," and I'm like, "But are you kidding me?"
Okay, the
mother?
next time, don't do it unless we're recording. Because I need to hear this explanation, more so for the reaction of the
Yes.
explanation.
I'm like,
Yeah.
porque la gente toma droga cuando van a la discoteca. And she's like, pero ¿quién toma droga cuando van a la discoteca? I'm like, oh my God. I love it.
That's great.
I love it. I love it.
great.
No, pero
Maybe I'm gonna
es que
take your mom
mira,
rolling in a
and then
club
my
one
mom,
day.
And then my mom like starts saying stuff like, ay, porque hoy en día, porque la gente siempre han ido a las discotecas. And I'm like, really, mom? Because in the 70s, they used to do cocaine. you
Yeah,
know?
that's why
Like,
Studio 54 had
yes.
the Coke spoon.
Yes. And
Yeah.
they used to drop acid,
In
know?
the
and,
60s, yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I mean, this has always happened in clubs.
Okay, but let's ask the question. Do we know if there were, and if there were, what kind of clubs were in Carlos Roja?
Dude, Carlos Roja had 5,000 people. They didn't have paved roads.
Right.
Do you think that they
Right.
had a
disco.
discoteca?
That's why I'm saying this is why your mother is not familiar with,
I
the
remember the first time my parents went to a club.
club culture
They went
necessarily.
to the Copacabana club ahí adelante de Versailles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like I remember when they went. I was a kid, but I remember that when they went. I was like, I think the first time they ever went. And then I'll never forget that years later,
Yeah.
we're talking now about the 2000s. We had actually gone, all of our friends, we had gone to Disney over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I got home and my parents were talking que fueron a la Covacha.
Wow. And by that time, we had gone to like a watch.
And I was like, I was so proud. I'm like, you guys went to La Covacha? And they were like, sí. And then my dad was saying something of like,
shout out to Phil and Alex.
and they were saying something about La Comida. I'm like, wait. You mean to tell me you went to La Covacha when it was like the restaurant, like in the restaurant portion of the Covacha? Sí. And I'm like, oh,
So close.
so close.
So close.
So close.
So close.
It's like, oh, for a second there.
You're like, my parents are cool. My parents are hip.
Yeah,
No.
no. It's funny because I don't think my parents are uncool.
They're not uncool.
It's just that my mom's naiveness is like because I was telling you this the other day. My mom's still in her mind somebody who recreationally does like pot. Es un drogadicto.
They might as well be a heroin addict.
Right there,
That's
is
it.
equivalent to being a
Right,
heroin
right,
addict.
right.
And it's like, but mom, it's not. Like, I love it.
It's wonderful. I'm telling you, we should have her on one day.
My parents, we want to do not writing cars with Neri. The car show with Neri.
We want to do
Neri Squared.
Right, writing with Neri Squared, yes.
Yeah, with Neri, my mom and Neri.
Neri Sands.
Sons, I'm sure that if Neri, the comedian, I'm sure that he could
figure out.
figure it out.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
talented.
Yeah.
He'll
He'll know how to like draw things out of her.
Of my
I'm
mother,
sure. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then the problem is that if he draws things out of her, then we have to like censor a lot of stuff, because
I don't know that we would. Because your mom's not malicious.
no, and my mom doesn't say bad words. It's
Right.
just that, I don't want to say that my mom doesn't have a filter because when you say somebody doesn't have a filter, it's generally that they're telling somebody off. And
No. It's just that she has a thought and it comes out.
Yes.
Right.
Like the thought process and machinations. Are oral.
Right. Like she would be like, I wonder what clouds taste like. And that's just gonna come out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Hi. One of my favorite things that she's ever said was some years ago when my dad's, this was a long time ago, my dad's boss came to the house and our dog, Princess, loved his wife. And she's like, no, es que la cosa es que ella se lleva muy bien contigo porque ella huele a la pesta perro, que ustedes tienen perro. And I'm like, that totally came out wrong. I know what you were trying to say.
Just the phrasing.
Yeah.
The phrasing was not optimal.
Yeah.
No.
But now I have Pepa stuck in my mind.
Well, I mean, there's worse things to have stuck in your mind.
Discoteca, boom, boom. Oh, wait. Now that we're talking about music,
Okay.
we can't have our premiere episode
Okay.
without singing or talking about We Don't Talk About Bruno.
I still have not seen Encanto.
No.
I have still not, and I was gonna watch this week in preparation for this episode, and I just never got around to it.
I have to tell you, when obviously I was watching Encanto with Tristan a couple of weeks ago, and don't know anything about musicals.
Right.
I'm square when it comes to that. But when I was watching it, when that song came out, I remember thinking like that song is really good. Like it caught me again, my square ear with musicals.
Right.
That even me, I was like, all the songs are good, but that song, I was like, that song is really good, and now it's become a phenomenon.
It was the number one on the Billboard charts.
No.
Number one on the Billboard charts.
It's funny on Spotify when you don't talk about Bruno. It creates like the radio.
Yeah.
And now like I've heard it in like 3 or 4 languages, including Japanese.
Well, you don't think about that, but yeah, because obviously they dub it in all the languages.
No hablamos de Bruno. No.
So, what do you think of Encanto? I haven't seen it, but what was your takeaway from it?
I mean, so I loved the music from Encanto.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't that huge on the story.
What is the story? I have to.
That's the part that I was like, it's the whole thing that the Familia Madrigal and the Casa Madrigal has like these special powers.
Okay.
And I'm sort of giving the plot away. So each person that is part of the Familia Madrigal has a special gift.
Okay.
Except Elena.
Okay.
The main girl.
That's voiced by Stephanie Beatriz.
Yes. She did not get a gift.
Okay.
So, but they all have a gift. And like one can hear from far away, one is really strong. The little boy that they show like his gifting party at the beginning, he can talk to animals.
So they're like Latino Avengers.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, which the movie has been getting great credit for is showing like the representation.
Right. Because it's based in Colombia, right?
It's based in Colombia, and very, very like without getting political, they kind of show social unrest on how the miracle happened to be. And they I don't know who was courted to do the research of the development of the movie,
right?
But in terms of like shades and different types of people, it's very representative, very inclusive, and they've gotten really good reviews in that aspect. The story I thought was okay, but the movie's great and the music is awesome and the animation is awesome. The Disney movie last year that I loved was Lucas. I mean,
I love Luca.
I love Luca. I liked Luca more, but obviously because Encanto's a musical, it has more of like the
theatrics,
the showstopper,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But I loved Lucas or Luca.
It's so funny because I was thinking, wasn't the kid the other kid in Luca? Wasn't his name Bruno?
Yeah,
I'm like, man, it's a big year for Bruno.
When he would get mad,
right? Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
What was it he would say?
No hablamos de Bruno.
But it's like, man, it's a big year for Bruno's.
Yeah, Bruno's.
2021 was a year for Bruno's.
No. Oh, actually,
and even Bruno Mars released music last year.
Do you know what else I learned about Bruno?
Which one?
So
we literally just named 3 different Brunos. Which Bruno?
Okay, Bruno from Encanto.
Okay.
So Bruno in Encanto is like sort of banished.
Right.
And he's wearing a coat that is what is it? Not seen the not seen green. What is it called?
Like it's
No,
a specific
not,
shade.
Hold on, not seen. I have to get this right. Not
Okay, it's a big part of the plot.
no. Hold on. Go away green.
Go away green.
So
okay.
Bruno's coat is go away green, and you ask, "What is go away green?"
Okay.
I actually spoke to this to Stephanie from Mama's and Merlot the other day. So go away green is something I had always noticed, but I didn't know that was the name. You know when you go to Disney or any Disney park and they're doing construction or whatever, the fences they built around the construction are green.
That's called go away green.
And a lot of times throughout their parks, when any electrical equipment or whatever that they have to
repairs.
have there, it's green. And like if there's a building or whatever, and a certain part of the building is not really part of like the building and the facade, it's green.
Right.
And it's all the same green. It's like an olive green.
Right.
That's called Disney Go Away Green, and it's an actual color.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and when you put Disney Go Away Green on Instagram, on Google, like all these pictures come out of things
shit.
that are not supposed to be there.
So
Like,
it has like its own Pantone.
yes.
Oh,
That
I know.
big
Okay,
box in front of the Magic
I know
Kingdom,
exactly the color. Yeah.
It's Go Away Green. That's not there. You're not supposed to see it.
Mira vaya.
Yeah. The light post, Go Away Green, makes the ugly things almost disappear. So in doing that,
That's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah,
I
so
had no
Bruno's
clue.
Go Away Green. Like, listeners, go to Google and put Disney Go Away Green, and you'll see what we're talking about. So it's things that are green.
It's like hiding.
So you know what? It's like hiding in plain sight.
Okay. Like
right?
a camouflage.
So you know what I often think, because, it's Disney.
right.
How much research they put into figuring out
Landing on that color.
what color was going to, like, go away.
Oh, that was research to death.
Oh, yeah. There was study groups.
Yeah. That was focus groups upon focus groups.
Yes.
And then they had a focus group to talk about the focus group.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there were like consultants and experts, and they probably spent like $1 billion
On Go Away Green.
We're still paying for that in admission, which, by the way,
It went up, you were telling me.
we love Disney. I love Disney. You love Disney. We all love Disney.
Right.
Do you know what their admission is currently for the Magic Kingdom?
I know you told me, but I completely forgot.
When I was looking into it to go now,
Yeah.
January, it was $140 per person. It's actually, and that's because it was like January.
Oh, that's true. It's off season.
Right. In like May and June, it was more. It was like $145 or $150 per person.
Regardless of age, because
Well, I think Tristan's would have been $10 or $15.
whatever.
less.
For $10.
Right. That is absurd. And now they no longer have the fast passes. Now you have to pay for the Disney
That's right.
Genie, and
That's
it's like $15 per person, and you can only really get one like reservation.
Right. With other than just standing in line.
Right.
Right.
And then like Space Mountain and the mine ride of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which are very high in demand.
Yeah, it's always the longest wait.
They're not part of the Disney Genie. You have to pay additionally to get the fast pass. I mean, you can still go and stand in line for 4 hours, but you have to pay for this fast pass.
That's insane.
Yeah. It's funny because I, like everybody else, I want to go to MGM. Well, I still call it MGM, to go to the Star Wars land.
so worth it.
But, that's probably like, I should go now so I could ride in the summer. You have to take like a leave of absence from work.
Empieza la línea ahora. The only reason I got to do it was because we went like right after they opened again from COVID.
Yeah.
So, it was less people. And we were like, you know what? We have a day left on this 3-day pass that we didn't use. Let's go y aprovechamos.
Yeah. So I read an article about Disney and why their prices are going up. And they were saying that just business wise, they're trying to cater to more affluent people because they're trying to make Disney more of a vacation destination than just a theme
Like
park.
a resort.
Right. And that's what they're going after. And that's one of the reasons why everything has gotten so much up in price. So it's going to get to a point where middle class people or working class people are going to be priced out of Disney.
They already have payment plans.
Huh?
They already have payment plans.
Right.
No, I'm saying they already have payment plans, so it's not even
because
it's not that far away.
I've thought many times about getting a Disney annual pass.
Right.
And I know a lot of people that have the Disney annual pass and they love it and they're very happy with it. But my whole thing with the Disney annual pass is that you are forced to spend more money.
Yeah.
Because if you have an annual pass from the perspective of
the park
of a daily pass,
right,
it's a much bigger value because I think you could get a yearly pass for like $200 some,
right,
compared to the day pass, which is like half of that, right?
Right.
So for double what the day pass is, you could get a yearly pass, right? But the way that I see that is, but then I'm forcing myself to spend more money because I'm gonna be like, well, we have a yearly pass, so we gotta go to Disney.
You gotta sacarle kilo.
Yeah, yes. You gotta go to Disney because we have the yearly pass. So
we gotta make it worth our while.
Right. So you have to pay for a hotel, you have to pay for transportation, you have to pay for food, you have to pay for everything that comes with a Disney trip. So you're in essence spending more money.
Oh, of course you are.
Yeah.
Of course you are.
Because it's like I got to echar. It's like
But that's
Disney pass.
Right, because to your point, it's like, oh, but it's cheaper if I do this, right? But you're looking at it in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Yes, the park is cheaper, but it ain't cheaper.
It's not. With that said, I know gas has gone up a lot, but don't hate me. I don't know what gas is.
You drove to Orlando recently, actually, with
the Tesla.
In the Tesla. How did that go? Did you have to? No. Did you have to like how far did it?
So from Kendall, from Miami, going to Orlando, you, depending on the conditions, you can almost make it on one full charge.
Wow. Depending on
it's-
traffic.
Right, but it's not recommended because if something happens, actually I have a story about that. If something happens, you're fucked.
Yeah.
So I actually was fucked. Almost big time.
What happened?
Sorry. I shouldn't use that much of profanity.
It's been a month.
So actually all the service plazas now have Tesla chargers.
Yes.
So when you put in the address of where you're going, it tells you exactly where you need to go charge.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice.
So I get to Port St. Lucie
it was closed.
with 12% on my battery, which that's nothing. That's like
a block.
That's like 10 miles.
Yeah.
And when I got to Port St. Lucie, it was closed. It was under construction. No, actually, it wasn't under construction. Something had happened because the police was there that it was closed, and I was like, I got what's called range anxiety. I was like, oh my God,
What do I do?
what do I do? I
Because it's not a hybrid,
yes,
so
yes.
it's not like you can.
And it was like 2 a.m.
Right.
Right? So I'm like, no, y se me estaba acabando la batería del teléfono. I had like 20% left on my phone. And I was like, I can't connect my phone to the car because
you have no right.
So I'm like, holy shit. Right? So I'm like, well, I hope AAA brings a fast charger.
Oh, do they offer?
I don't even know if they do that. So I was like, well, I don't know what's going to happen here. And then what was really messed up was that, so Teslas have LTE, so it's like a phone,
Yeah.
right? Your
Like
system
your like a
is
4G
hooked up-
LTE, right?
Right, like your phone, right? So that's why you could use the data. It wasn't connecting because I was in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, it was like but thankfully, I did find, was it a Safeway or Safe something that had a Tesla charger
Menos mal.
within like 10 miles from there. And
So right rajando.
like I got there with like 4% left on the battery, and I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
Right, because that's
Te la viste
that is
mal.
the bad part of having an electric car. Because si se te acaba la gasolina, you can't call AAA or you can't call,
No, you can't
whomever
walk. You can't walk a couple
to the
miles
gas
with a
station to
little.
get gas.
Yeah.
Te jodiste.
Te jodiste, yeah. You're screwed because again, you don't even have a hybrid.
Right, but other than that, it was awesome.
Other than that, it was
love it.
okay.
I love it because I put it on self-driving mode.
Oh, that's true. Even better than cruise control.
Yeah. See, I don't know if you noticed when I was on my way to Disney, I kept putting on Instagram all these Instagram stories of songs I was listening to.
No, tu estabas. It was a jukebox.
Yeah, and I was like, well, the car's driving
Car's
itself.
driving,
So,
it'll be fine.
whatever.
There's nobody on the road. You're fine.
There's nobody on the road. The car was driving itself. I'm like, do what one does when they have a
Post
Tesla.
to Instagram.
Post to Instagram.
As one does.
Look, ma, no hands. So, yeah. So what do we want for 2022?
What do we want? okay, let's get it out of the way. Health and wellness and all that crap that everybody always
No,
wants.
I really want health.
I know, but I'm just saying, like that. Those are things that everybody wants, right? Like health and wellness and this and that. When you say what do we want, like for ourselves in general, for the world, like how broad are we?
Imagine
going
if
with
you were in
this?
the Miss Universe pageant and I'm Mario Lopez. And I go, for 2022, what do you want?
Well, if I'm doing a beauty pageant, I can go very philosophical bullshit answer. It's like I want to have growth in who I am as a person and continue to learn things and open myself up to new experiences and really understand the perspective of others despite their race or cultural background in the hopes that we'll unify each other for a greater tomorrow.
Oh my God. Oh.
Well, you asked me to do a beauty pageant answer.
Okay. So what do you really want?
I don't know. There's a shred of, truth in that bullshit answer I just gave. Like, I kind of just want people to chill the fuck out.
My answer is not that deep.
No, what does you want?
Well, I want health, obviously. And
that's what I'm saying. Let's get that out of the way. Yeah.
Yes.
We
Things I'm not discussing. I really want health. I just want to go on a 2-week vacation, like a real vacation, and I want to see The Weeknd in concert.
Well, he did push back the concert till next year.
2023?
Yeah, the concert's not happening this year.
Okay, well then that's not happening.
I think he pushed it back.
Yeah,
no.
Well, I know he canceled it, but I don't know if he was pushing it to next.
It was supposed to be this year, but now I know it's not. So I think
right. I know that it was supposed to start now, like in February or March.
Yes.
So I know he canceled those dates.
Yes.
I just don't know if he's just going to have it later in the year.
Oh, that I don't know. But so there's still a chance, is what I'm saying. So you can still see The Weeknd. And what was the other one? A 2-week vacation?
2-week vacation somewhere.
I mean, I don't know if I can get you a 2-week vacation.
Like a real vacation.
I don't know if I can get you a 2-week vacation, but I'm planning a long weekend vacation for my birthday for all of us.
Yeah, I know, but I want like a 2-week vacation, like in, I don't know, a cruise, Europe, like whatever. Because this past year, I went to New York, but I also went to protests.
That's not a vacation.
Yeah,
no.
So.
You need to.
And I have a lot on my plate. A lot.
You do.
I want to I'm turning off the phone. I
will
care.
see you in a week. At least 7 days.
Yes.
Like you would ideally 2 weeks, but you'll take one.
Honestly, I don't need to get the Wi-Fi package when I'm on the cruise.
Which actually, for my birthday this year, I'm contemplating, because I know we had talked at one point to do like a Punta Cana thing. Yeah. I'm contemplating doing like a 4-day cruise.
I think a cruise would be better.
That's what I'm looking at. And the way cruises are going now, they'll probably let us like steer the ship.
Yeah.
So I'm actually looking into that. So in August, you may get part of your wish.
Yes.
Look, I'm looking at a shorter cruise stay just because I know everybody with kids and everything, it becomes a little harder. So
well, 4 days is a good.
Yeah. Like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, that's all I want. I want to go on a 2-week vacation to like Montana.
Okay. And if anybody listening works for a cruise line and wants to give us, listen, we'll broadcast from the ship.
Montana, South Dakota. I want to go up there.
Montana?
Yeah, I'm dying to go. Montana's actually the place in the U.S. I want to go to the most.
Really?
Yeah. Have you checked out Montana?
No, it's gorgeous, but I just never thought.
And it has an Autobahn.
It's true. It just never dawned on me.
Yeah,
like,
it's funny because Montana has an Autobahn. I mean, there's no speed limit. It's like, yeah, but if I went to Montana, I'm going to rent a car. So I'm going to be in a Dodge Caliber, in an Autobahn.
A Miata. Just like...
So, but whatever. Yeah, that's all I want. I want to go on a 2-week vacation. I want to see The Weeknd, in the front row or really good weekend seats.
I love how that sounds. I want really good weekend seats.
Yes. I don't want to see Abel from the 400 section.
I don't want a Tuesday seat. I want good weekend seats.
No, I want Abel front and center.
Front and center.
Yes. Have you heard his new album?
I have not. The Dawn FM, right?
So good. So good. So good. So good. It is not as radio friendly as the other album.
Okay. Which doesn't surprise me with him.
There's not a Blinding Lights.
Okay. Or Catch My Breath or
Take My Breath.
Take My Breath.
This one.
In Dawn FM?
Yeah. It's the first single.
I thought that he had released the album that came from already.
No.
Oh, I did not know that was this album.
Take My Breath came out in late summer.
Yeah, but you know that nowadays you release a single on a Monday, the album's on a Tuesday, and by Thursday you have the extended album.
Yeah, and later that month Ariana Grande already has the next album.
Exactly.
I think there was a year that Ariana Grande in like 1 year had 3 albums.
She was the record industry that year.
Yeah. So, it's so good. It's so good. And then Jim Carrey's in it.
Yes.
It's so good. So for those of you people who like listeners who love, The Weeknd. Well, we all love The Weeknd.
The Weeknd, but
I'm talking about Weeknd,
Abel.
the single,
Yes.
the singer.
Yes.
It's really, really good.
Well,
So
okay. Well, you know what? Listen, I'm sure we can make. I'm already working on making a part of your 2022, wishes come true. So we'll see what we can do about the other
maybe
one.
we could get Abel on the podcast.
Listen, why not? Stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened.
I mean, okay, how can we connect the Hispanic? He dated
Selena Gomez. That's it. That's all I need.
And we've interviewed her mom,
Maria Canaz Barrera.
Yes.
Yes.
So there we go.
Done.
There
That's
we go.
a connection.
Done.
We just did it. Thanks.
That's a
Weekend. Call us.
Abel
Give us a buzz.
Tesfaye, call us, please.
He seems like the type of artist, though, who probably would be on our show, only because he seems like the type of artist who's just like, I don't care, I'll do shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he'll be on Access Hollywood, and then he'll be like, on somebody's show in their living room.
No, actually, I think that he's a type that would not do like a big show
In lieu of doing something like us,
somebody's like little podcast,
like us. Yeah.
I'm like, Abel, come to our toy room /studio, like, please.
I think he'd enjoy the BTS decor.
That's all I want.
Listen, at least it's attainable goals. You didn't say like I want $1 million.
Well, that's so like
right, but I'm saying it's realistic. I mean, theoretically, you could do these things.
So, listeners, what do you want for 2022?
Yes, let us know.
Is 2022 a leap year? I don't even know what are leap years. I
know they're every 4 years, but I don't know when to start counting.
Right, but is it every Winter Olympic year or every Summer Olympic year?
Oh my God. We need to figure that out because that will help us.
Yes.
Because that's something we'll remember.
Yes.
Okay. You know what? Hold on. I will look at the calendar right now and see what we got this year. Let's see. Let me look at the calendar. The calendar for February. I love that. I hate that stupid R. So we have 28 days this year.
Okay.
And not 29. So it's not the Winter Olympics.
So 2020 was a leap year? So it's a Summer Olympics.
It's a Summer Olympics, yes.
Okay. So every time there's Summer Olympics, it's a leap
It should be a leap year.
Okay.
Based on this very quick analysis that has no scientific merit.
Unless... Did you just hear what I said?
No.
I was like, why can't I think of the Olympics in 2020? Oh, because
it didn't happen. Yeah, it didn't happen. That's another thing. It just threw us off because it was last year.
Oh, you know what's so funny? The other day, speaking of this, because now that it's going to be 2 years of COVID, the other day I was looking through my hard drive where I put all my pictures and listeners.
The vault.
We've said this before in the episode. In the show. I take pictures of everything. I have hundreds of thousands of pictures. And to my defense, Ish could tell you, even before camera phones existed, I was the person who used to go out with a camera. Yeah. I went with a camera everywhere with like a little pocket camera.
Even if it was disposable camera.
Yeah, everywhere. We have our lives documented.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you and Ingrid are the reasons that, well, since we've known each other.
Yeah.
I mean, to varying degrees, but yeah.
Loved picture taking, but anyway, I'm like a total like I'm very very like anal about the way like it's
all classified and stored and labeled.
I store it and label in like my hard drive, and I went nuts because I couldn't find the youth fair pictures of 2020. I'm like, oh my god, where are they? Like, where are they?
I'd be more concerned if you found them.
I was like, where are they? Because my fear is, because this happens a lot when you're dealing with so many folders of the yellow folders, sometimes by mistake you put a folder in another folder.
And good luck.
And
that many pictures,
right,
good luck.
I have over 1,000 folders.
Yeah, good luck.
Right? So I was like, where are they? Like, where are they? And you see my list there. Like...
See, Youth Fair 1998.
Right. 1998 Youth Fair, 1999, 2000, 2001. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, where is 2020? Like, why can't I? Like, oh my God. So I started looking at my phone. I'm like, where are the 2020 pictures? I was like, wait.
Take a breath. Take a step back.
Like, wait. There wasn't a fair in 2020.
Como te digo, if you find them, I'd be more impressed.
Well, because in the alternate parallel universe, there's no COVID.
That's true. There's
And
no
we went
COVID.
to the
yeah.
fair.
And we did, yes.
Because remember, in March of 2020, they built the fair.
Well-
the fair was ready to go.
the fair literally did not open because on opening day
It's when
is when the
canceled
world
it.
stopped. Yeah.
That Thursday.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the guy who was at, I think it was McDonald's or a fast food place, and somehow there was a phone off the hook and nobody knew what it was? Have you seen this?
No.
Okay, so there was a guy at McDonald's. It was a fast food place, and they had a phone, like a landline,
Okay, right. Yeah.
right? And somehow the landline was disconnected, that it did the beep, beep,
It was off the hook.
Right, it was off the hook,
okay.
right? And it was like on speakerphone. And a bunch of the kids there,
Had no clue.
no clue what it was, what that sound was.
They didn't know where it was coming from. They didn't know what was
Right,
going
they
on.
didn't know, but the sound, because you hear that sound,
I know what it is.
you know, you don't even have to think,
It's a phone off the hook.
Right.
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And they didn't know where the sound was coming from, and
couldn't
that
figure it out.
blew my mind because they've never used a landline.
They just could not figure it out.
Yep.
Wowzers.
I would love to give kids today a VCR from the 80s or 90s and have to
Figure it out.
No, adjust the clock.
Listen, some of us that grew up during that time couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, when you need an owner's manual to adjust the
The
clock,
clock, it's complicated.
or when you would adjust the clock, that clock was staying like that all year. We weren't changing the clock
Hell
for
no.
daylight savings time.
you can save all the daylight you want.
It'll
That
be like,
clock.
son las 4:30 o las 3:30.
Just look at the microwave clock.
Yeah, but that one you had to program too.
Yeah, but the microwave clock was a little easier.
Yeah, you would press clock and then the
Right, you could fix that one for daylight savings.
Yeah.
Right.
so. Wow, 2022.
Yep.
So is this our first last soda?
This is our first last soda of 2022,
Okay,
of
so-
season 5.
Our first last soda.
So do you got one ready to go?
Yeah,
or-
actually, I'll be short and quick. What we talked about earlier. I'll give my last soda to Bob Saget.
Okay.
You know, who doesn't love Bob Saget? And I told you this the other day, right after he passed. I mean, obviously, I knew Bob Saget. Well, we all knew Bob Saget was very famous.
Right.
And, you know, he's been on
Very liked.
an
and-
iconic show, if you want to call it Full House iconic.
It is.
But I never thought of Bob Saget as like an A-lister.
That's fair. That's
a
fair.
Brad Pitt or a
Right.
George Clooney.
Julia
or-
Roberts.
Right. I've
Right,
never
right.
thought of him as an A-lister.
Right.
And I was just the amount of the outpouring that he
love,
got
yeah.
of love, just across the board, different generations, different people, different backgrounds. The media coverage that he got
Yeah.
was actually very surprising. Did you see John Mayer? I didn't know him and John Mayer were
I
so
didn't know.
close.
Yeah, John Mayer's like gutted.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were that close.
Yeah. So it was. Well, it's never nice to see because it's the passing of someone, but it kind of puts in perspective on how when you're a good person. I mean, that's a great example that he was a good person. He was funny. He brought people together, especially now in this
Yeah.
divided times that we live in. You know, he brought people together. It didn't matter. You know, he played places on the coast. He played places in Middle America.
Big
He just
places,
made
little clubs, yeah.
and people appreciate that, and they love that. So you know.
Yeah.
A last soda for him.
Last soda to Bob Saget. Well,
I can never say the word posthumous.
posthumous. Yeah, you said it. So my last
That's why I
soda,
could never say eponymous.
eponymous. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So my last soda is a little delayed. It's for something that was done in December of last year.
Okay, well,
but it's. I remember when it happened. I was like, oh, I'm gonna give him the last soda,
we weren't
and,
in production.
and then I didn't give it to him, so I'm gonna do it now. It's going to go to businessman Marcus Lemonis. For those of you who don't know, Marcus Lemonis is a businessman. I forgot the name of the company that he has, but he has a show on CNBC, The Profit. You know, he's a Miami boy, born and raised. He lived like right off of La Ocho, like right next to Coral Gables. And he actually is a graduate and alumnus of Christopher Columbus High School. And this past year, he donated $10 million to Columbus High School so that they could build like a career center and just, you know, a lot of things.
Man, I hope that building is getting his name.
Well, here's another thing, because I think, you know, when you say something like that, people are like, oh, well, the rich school getting it. I'm like, you know, okay, but that's where he graduated from, you know, whatever. But the reason I'm also giving it to him, aside from that in and of itself, is in addition to the $10 million, included in the $10 million was $18,000 gifted to every single staff member at the school.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
From the janitor to the cafeteria workers to the teachers to administrators to security.
Oh, that's the way to go.
Everybody got $18,000, and that's nice to see, because he didn't just kind of say, "Here, school, do this."
Do this.
He earmarked something that really, was about giving something back to individuals. And I mean, well, we know someone personally who that really, got that money, and that money goes a long way. So, I think that's the way you do it. You give back, but you look for ways to really give back in a way that's not just a photo op.
Right.
That is really about doing, talking the talk, walking the walk.
Right.
And he's a proud Miami boy, so kudos to Marcus Lemonis.
Wow, that is incredible. Good for him. That's
yeah.
I mean, the fact that everybody
benefited from
that.
Yeah.
Because so many times, when there's bonuses or money given away, it's like to the administrators and the management and this and that. But people,
it doesn't trickle down.
Right, it doesn't trickle down to people who are part of the everyday operation.
Yeah, a school doesn't work if you
maybe don't have a title, but their work is nonetheless
vital.
Vital and not. So wow.
Yes.
Well, that was our first episode of our 5th season
188
of the new year. 188?
I believe it's 188.
So we'll get it right. So hopefully by our 200th episode, we don't have another
ridiculous pandemic situation.
That's going to cancel our episode.
Yeah. Decepticon strain or something.
Right. So, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We have 12 weeks.
We'll figure something
out. So, everybody, that was it. Our first episode of 2022 season 5.
Yes.
If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening to the episode. Thank you for continuing to listening to us,
we love
for
you
the
guys.
support. As I said at the beginning, we have a lot of things this year that we want to do. So we're excited that you've come along for the ride. But as always, remember to grab your croqueta, your pastelito, and your cafecito. And thank you so much for joining us. We hope you listened, laughed, and learned.
Yes.
I almost forgot that.
Almost 5 years and now you forget?
Yeah, well, we were off for a month and a half.
That's true. Okay, fair enough.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right,
Bye.
we didn't say it. Pero Let Me Tell You is co-hosted by Darian Borges and Ismaeliano, produced by Ismaeliano, and our theme, Pero Let Me Tell You Freestyle, is composed by Michael Angelo Lomlaplex, the official gay guy. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes.